Hey, what's up? It's episode 12. We've got a whole dozen of Snap on This. I'm LaurenWhatevs, and we're just gonna say up front, this is the November 6th episode, and there's, we're all Americans, the three of us, and so, there's a, I don't know, Paul cast on this day. Am I using that word correctly? I don't know. But anyway, we just wanted to acknowledge all three of us considered not doing the episode this week to focus on self-care, but then we were like, you know what? We can help you with your self-care. So here's a little levity, and more or less, that's all we're going to say about it. I think it's...
But also, we're not promising that much.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, lower your expectations.
We're not promising quality, and we're also...
funny or intelligent. Yay! Thanks for listening. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey.
We're just interrupted. Go ahead.
No, it made it better. I think everybody will agree. This is an even episode, so we're throwing to Ben first. Benjaminroller, how was your week in Snap? And keep it snappy.
All right, my week in Snap, endeavoring as always to keep it snappy. I decided, I was okay with releasing myself with from #pod goals, my perennial quest to get in the top 1,000 on the leaderboard sometimes. It had been the previous 2 months, but I'm not loving all the Cosmo that's around. And it really, I'm happy for the players who enjoy Cosmo, but kind of makes all my decks not work so well, which is a bummer. And, you could adapt, you could react to the situation you're faced with and make the best of it, but I don't know. I was busy. I got family stuff going on, other things, and I also really like decks that lose to Cosmo. So I just sort of died on that hill, baby. You know how it is.
Then I'm stopping you to let the listeners know the external information that you have a fabulous looking cat named Latte. And is that perhaps part of the reason you were prejudiced against a good girl or boy, depending on era?
Maybe.
Comic you're reading.
I will say I am more of a Goose player than a Cosmo player. And I have been playing a lot of that one-cost Zabu. Am I? Yes. Is my cat personness permeating the game now? Also, I never really identified as a cat person. I'm just friends with this one cat in particular. And that's... I don't have a lifelong history of cat friendship. This is really the only one. This is a very special bond that I have with Latte. Anywho, so no, I don't like the turning off of the on reveal effects. That's my beef with Cosmo, the good boy or girl. We all, I don't know if we all know, but there's an argument that could be made, depending on your comics or your movies or whatever, Cosmo can be whatever you want Cosmo to be, baby. Anywho, I finished the season with my most successful deck, I would say, being the bounce stuff I was doing with Toxin. Also, last week I had been playing a Heimdall deck that I totally failed to mention, but yeah, still Heimdalling around. This one, it was old school kind of thing with Angela in it, even though I don't really think that's the smart way to build move nowadays, but I like to... Sometimes I just like to do my old tricks. What can I say? Even when they don't really work as well. But yeah, I was doing Angela Heimdall stuff. So far in the new season, I've mostly just been doing bounties, messing around, seeing what feels good. I did a little bit of cooking with Surtur, and we can talk about that later. It was probably not the smartest thing to do with Surtur, but I did something. Played some more bounce, and I was having actually quite a lot of fun playing Miscard, the Mysterio discard deck from several weeks ago that I put in one of the squares for social media. So yeah, it's been an all right week. It's been fairly light on Snap stuff, just because the real world has been asking more of me. What are you gonna do? But yeah, let's hear about my co-hosts. How's their weeks?
I wanted to say I admire that you're only climbing when the game's fun for you. I think that's important. And I know there are players who the adapting and always being on top is the fun part for them, but I very much feel the same way, where I think climbing ladder is fun, but I only want to take it seriously when a deck I love is working. Like, I don't want to force myself to play something that is suboptimal on fun.
I play Marvel Snap to have fun, and also I find that like I play better when I'm in a good mood. I'm also in a better mood when my decks can win. So like, you know, it's a little bit of like the chicken and the egg and everything, but like I could just tell that I was not in the good mood feedback loop, and so I cut back on my playtime. You know?
Okay, I'm not promising that I play better when I'm feeling good, but I definitely play way worse when I'm tilted. Rule of video games number 1. You are always worse at it when you're tilted. And that's what I found is the best. Like, and also having friends who don't burn yourself out playing it when you don't like it. Like, put it down, step away so you can still love the game. If you continue to play it when you're not having fun and you're not enjoying it, you're just going to burn out on it entirely. It's okay to set it down. So yeah,
I think that's great advice. So that's co-host number 3. You've already heard her set the bar very low for this episode, explicitly. Like, not to say anything about the quality of what you're saying. Anyway, that's Ree. How was your week in Snap?
Yeah, I've been inserting myself a lot into the conversation.
A-okay.
I did
inserting yourself a lot.
No.
Next level comedy.
No, that's perfect because it's the perfect comedy because we got past agony and scorn and everyone thought they were safe, and then you come in with this sort of brilliant. It's the perfect piece. Okay. I did have to. This is why my friends are the best. Is because earlier when I told Lauren I was Artaxing, she knew exactly what I meant, which we did. We all pulled ourselves out of Artaxing to be here, which is a reference to one of the greatest children's movies of all time, The Never-Ending Story. Artax is the horse of Atreyu. The warrior, and in the swamps of despair, or sadness, or sorrow. It's one of those.
Some miserable place.
Yeah, some miserable place. But it actively makes you despair. Gets sinks into the mud, and so that's Artaxing, is when you just decided to allow yourself to sink, and then your friends who are also equally in the same muck you're in, grateful asses in, are just pulling on your rope, no, we had to get the fuck out of here. Okay, sorry. So all of that is to preference why I'm not more joyfully saying that I did get, because you know how lazy I am about conquest. I did get my 5th, I think, only ever, so don't feel bad if you don't have that anyone listening.
Way to
Infinity
go!
Border. Yes, and I got
what
it
avatar?
on. Yes, it's the latest Spider-Gwen. Go Spider, sorry. She was called Spider-Gwen, was her official comic title name. Official comic title was called Spider-Gwen. Before it came Ghost Spider, so that's why I got it wrong, and I'm right, technically. So, okay. That's the avatar I got it on.
The
Her latest
spotlight?
spotlight, where she's upside down, got caught with graffiti, but she has the most I don't give a fuck look on her face, and the paint's just drooling, or it looks like. It's
I thought it was a water bottle. Is it paint?
I thought it was a water bottle too.
Okay,
Anyway.
maybe I have. But okay, that's the avatar I got it on. And the question though here,
Awesome.
I did it with people are like, oh, is it with one of your cool new decks that you made? By the way, with Anti-Venom, I did swap in Shadow King for Howard. I'm sorry, Detective, but it's the first cut always, right? But I know. What I did was I didn't even take my cool Irisham deck. I was fuck it. I auto-rolled Irisham. Took it right in without even practicing testing the waters. I'm I want to Legion some stuff. I'm going to Shang some stuff. I'm going to Chantress some stuff. And I did. And I took that. And then my very last battle, was against another Arsham deck, and it's so insane because then it's like you don't know. I'm used to like knowing what they're gonna do, sort of. Like, you can guess what's in their deck, what their range is, but when it's Arsham versus Arsham, and both of you snap, it's just like what. What is even gonna play out here? It's wild. I had no idea.
Yeah, you have very little information.
Right. It's so hard to make because you don't know if they're snapping because they pulled a blob and they're going to win one lane with it. And it's like, yeah, but then I'm going to like Shadow King it and pull out 3 other cards you didn't know I have that are also cheaper for some reason you didn't know. You know what I mean? So, and you don't know if they have one of those or it's like blob, you know? So, or just whatever. Anyway, so my question though is I do think a lot of people think Arsham is OP and needs to be nerfed. And I don't know where I feel about that because I have definitely gotten beaten by Arsham, but I also can still beat Arsham. Mm-hmm. What are both of your opinions on the state of Arsham? That's what I want to know.
I don't worry about Arsham. I've never really worried about Arsham. My philosophy has long been keep your eyes on your own paper. And, you know, if you're familiar with the material, you'll win games, is my feeling. I mean, like, there are limits to that philosophy, but I've never been like, I can't win games because Arisham's everywhere. I don't know. They get extra energy, but they don't get to have, like, a coherent game plan, so...
Yeah, so obviously a lot of it depends on how lucky they get, right? So it can be a really swingy deck. But that should matter less in Conquest mode. Like, they get the advantage of you don't know what they drew in that game. It's not necessarily going to be the same as the previous game. But they also, I don't know, their average draw is lower than their peak draw.
Matter less in Conquest mode? They can still get you in for a lot of cubes or whatever. Like, I'm not always convinced that Conquest is that different from Ladder in terms of, like, I
disagree, though. I disagree, because I play a lot of times, I'll play decks, and I'm like, this is a ladder deck, though, because you're only going to scam them in each of these ways once.
That's true.
You can't always plan all that out.
Did you mean in general, or did you mean specifically for Arsham, Ben?
A little bit of both, but yeah, I mean, like, it is true that if your deck is hoping to do one scammy surprise one time, then, like, Ladder is good. But if you're trying to tell a story to your opponent about the scam you did here in the first game, and surely you're going to do that every time, but secretly you've got, like, more scams and stuff.
Oh, I do love that.
You know, I don't know. I just think that good decks are good decks, and... they're usually good decks in both places, as a general.
There's such an advantage to knowing your opponent's range versus not. That's where I come in, because I think so much of the reason I can like fool around with all my goofy decks is because I'm like reasonably good at like reading the meta and what maybe they're gonna do and what the range of their deck is. And with Arsham, that's why it's the hardest to fight Arsham, because I'm like, I don't know why they're snapping. Whereas there's so many other times they snap and I know what they have or what they're gonna try and do. And then I know whether I can counter that and like snap them back or at least play it out for the chance or not. But with Arsham, it's like, why?
Snap from Arsham,
I don't know.
Doesn't really narrow down the possibilities very much. You don't learn much when your opponent snaps and they're playing Arsham. That's what I'm
saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't know that when I'm playing against Arsham, and that's makes it so much harder for me to play against.
But does that make it overpowered, or is that just one of the powerful things?
I'm saying it's an advantage. It's an advantage, just like the extra energy is, and that all factors into like how good a deck is, right?
Yeah. I don't think it's too strong, but I can understand how it can be really frustrating to play against. And my frustration with it varies a lot. I'm not usually on the super frustrated side, but I understand people who are. But obviously, if you're running something with like Sandra Nova or Darkhawk or whatever, then it's like no big deal. I'm glad I ran into Arsham. Yeah,
but that's how you get them for a lot of cubes when they think they got you because they have a Cassandra Nova and Darkhawk, and you're like, yeah, but like you you can win the other
It's
two
true.
lanes, or you're going to negate it in some way. Because that's the biggest thing, is when they think, that's when you get the most cubes, is when they think they got you.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to save
so I've beaten a
Nova
lot.
for the last turn.
You are forgetting I played Arishem into Dark. I got all those
It's
points.
true,
So
just defiantly.
you got all that energy to play out those Shangs, those Enchantresses. They don't know you have a rogue. They have no idea. You can have the most... Anyway, okay. I think Arishem is powerful. I don't know that it's too powerful. And the fact that neither of you think so would then make me agree with that. But, I like playing it because I've always liked shield cards. I like improving in the card. That's kind of fun for me. So I like playing it, and I don't want people to make me feel bad about it, to be honest. So I'm curious.
You're not the game designer.
Yeah, but also it's if it is OP, I never play the actual busted decks when they're busted. That's no fun. When I got to level 16 World of Warcraft, I didn't gank on a PvP server. I didn't gank lobies. I had morals. So I'm just saying, if I know it's overpowered, I don't tend to want to play it. But I will say what I'm mad about this version is I don't feel like Loki is super playable outside of Arishem, and that's a huge bummer. Not that I want old Loki back.
No, but to see a whole deck archetype just absorbed into another one, because the key card changed.
Yeah, it stinks.
I'm not weeping for the lack of Loki, but it is just a bummer that the diversity is gone,
Agreed.
It was a terror, old Loki, but at the same time, it's I love Loki, the card, the character. I don't want it to only feel playable in Arishem. That's no fun.
Yeah, just as Arishem's sidekick, that's
not
very... that doesn't sound like glorious purpose to me.
He's the god of stories. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, okay, I was just curious. That was my discussion. I wanted to see what if you thought, people are always complaining about whatever deck they last lost to. So I was curious to see what you thought the state of Arishem was. How was your week, Lauren?
My week was good. I didn't feel like I played that much, but I took first in the Alliance, and I think there are a couple things at play there. One, I just grabbed up every single discard bounty that popped up. I feel like they're way too generous, the discard ones. I don't want them changed.
Yep, I've also been doing that.
I'm just saying, you can get a lot of points.
Match thing. Yep.
You can get a lot of points really fast. Discard 40, it's a breeze. A Wong, Modok.
That's part of why I finished so high in the Alliance, despite not playing all that much. In addition to fewer people playing all that much that week.
Yeah, so that was the other part of it.
The discard were good to me also.
Yeah, Ben and I took top 2 in the Alliance. I think it's the first time I've been even in the top 3.
Glory to the pod.
Yeah. I could be wrong, but yeah, we contributed, 21K of the 180K. We barely, last second pulled off the full prizes. But I think this is the closest it's ever been, and I think it must be because so many people were checking out the new Pokemon game.
Maybe. I mean, how much time can you spend on that new Pokemon? I mean, well, kind of a lot of time, because everything is very slow about it. It's very slow to do battles. It's very slow to open packs. It's very slow to shift menu screens. It's very slow to check your missions, and it's very slow to go to the shop. Very slow to do your wonder picks.
Not
the whole
Snap
thing is just designed to take forever.
It is not
it's very
snappy.
Frustrating.
Yeah. That's
my week. Not snappy. How far are we on week on Snap?
Hey.
No, I was saying I was complaining about the Snap menus. They're a little bit laggy still.
Nothing compared to these Pokemon pocket menus. I tell you one thing, they are just glacial.
While we're in our Pokemon Pocket side tangent, I did finally get to play it, and it was better than I thought, and it will not replace Snap, and I do, but when I get too tired to think of Snap, I can just build decks and auto battle in Pokemon. And I have actually never once played a human in it because I'm pretty sure if I had to wait for another person, it would ruin the whole game and I wouldn't play it at all. So
That's how
I'll
I
play the
feel.
computers.
That's exactly how I feel. I was like, these computers are already too slow. If a human's any slower, I am going to die.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
And they are.
Right?
And also, I have played more matches against a human since last week with my sample size of 1. And yeah, a lot of people will disconnect when they start to lose, and you have to wait for the timer to go down before you get your little win. And like
being roped constantly.
Yeah, I worry that I sounded too harsh last week when I said that it was a game for it was not a game for serious people who liked good things, but I don't feel very serious when I'm playing it, and I'm like, I don't think they're being very respectful of my time or my attention, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the game is fun-ish, but it does take way too long. It's like I could have the same amount of fun in a much smaller amount of time if I play Snap. So Snap is still always going to be my favorite between the two, but it's easier for me to play Pokemon when the TV's on. I don't know. And also,
you can set it to auto battle while you're watching TV and be like, I'm multitasking.
I haven't even tried auto battle, but maybe that's what I should be doing.
I tried auto battle and it misplayed horribly.
It plays terribly. But you put together an OP enough deck, and then if you're just going for the little mission things, where it achieves a few things or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how you get a lot of things done at once.
I'm just saying it could take a lesson from Ego and Agatha. Like, oh my god. Like bad decisions. Like retreating with Pokemon that should not have been retreating for like no reason, to throw out a Pokemon that has like 3 whose attacks cost like 3 energy. Is just like is making bad choices aggressively.
All right, I'm going to end this with...
if you're enjoying Pokemon TCG Pocket, I don't mean to tell you that you shouldn't enjoy it. Keep on enjoying it, and you're still a real gamer and a cool person. I just think it's a silly game.
Okay.
I want a podcast segment of Agatha and Ego teach you how to play Snap.
Teach you how to play Pokemon.
Okay.
I'm gonna end this. I was doing the discard shenanigans. I was running an APOC deck with MODOK. Also Silver Samurai, Moon Knight, and Misery. It's very fun. It's growing on me so much. I won a match where it was my Meek versus their Scorn, and I felt like a boss because Meek won. But Ego is what I wanted to talk about. I had a match where Ego popped up. We both snapped. As you do if you're honorable. And the first,
I don't know about
the
all
first
that.
location.
I think you snap there if you think you're going to win. That's what I do.
I will if they do, but it's not like there's no if they're not going to, then I'm not going to.
If they don't also snap, there's no honor involved. Yeah, you can retreat. It's fine.
It's like
but the honorable thing
crossing the bridge. Okay, sorry.
I had one where Ego popped up. The first location was Bar with No Name, and he played beautifully. He played almost exactly how I would have played. It was art, even though it was all just random rolls. Ego knew what he was doing. Okay, we are going to move on to the season pass card. Surtur, a 3/5. After you play a card with 10 or more power, this gains 3 power. I'm assuming we all got the season pass. Only tell us if you didn't. What do you think about Surtur?
I want to go last.
Pretty big.
Okay. Yeah, big, definitely.
I built with Surtur. My first thought was like, how can I make a goofy surfer deck with Surtur in it? And that was real bad. Just real bad. So
but he's a 3 cost.
I know. Like I was like trying to get real cute with it. I was like, well, I'll have Gladiator and Shaw, and I'll just be playing 3/10s all day long. And like it, things about it worked sometimes in isolation, but like as a deck, it did not work. And a more successful deck that I built is it had Misery as one of the central cards.
Ooh.
This deck is also still bad, so like don't play this deck that I'm about to tell you about. But like
Thanks
America
for prefacing
Chavez,
before I got too
Zabu,
excited.
Forge, Psylocke, Armor, Cosmo, Surtur, Gladiator, Gwenpool, Misery, Crossbones, and Scar. And the idea is like, if we're playing Armor anyway, maybe we should Misery on a Gwenpool. Because, that's always like a fun thing to do, especially if you don't have to discard that 6-power body. And not discard, I meant discard with a lowercase d and just like
We
get
gotcha.
rid of, words. Anyway, this deck is a little iffy. Like, it feels like maybe there's something there. Mostly it just feels like I'm playing a bad version of Big Dumb Idiots. But I don't know. I'm having fun with it and doing okay. I haven't played a zillion games with it. It hasn't lost me cubes on the ladder, but like I'm not like shooting all the way up to infinite. Not that I'm really like trying this early in the season. I am in the mood to take it slow because the world is a tough place, as we briefly touched upon, and I'm just not in the mood to put a whole ton of pressure on myself. I already know I'm good at card games, and it'll be fine in the end. So yeah, I've got Surtur. I'm playing Surtur. Seems like a pretty good card. Gets real big for not very much energy, and doesn't seem like the most flexible card in the universe. Kind of seems like there's one really good thing to do with Surtur. And I guess I'm seeing a lot of people doing it, and we all know what the good thing to do with him is. So I guess do it if you're into that, and do something else if you're not.
Did you see that Hulkbuster trick with him? If you play Hulkbuster in a big card, it considers it's a new big card. Even if you played on
that makes sense.
If your Surtur's already 3/8 and then you Hulkbuster it, it counts itself. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Surtur can proc himself?
Surtur can proc itself if you play Hulkbuster on it. I saw a clip.
Oh.
Also,
Okay,
apparently it doesn't work with Agony, though.
Huh. That seems weird. Because Agony happens after the card is done being played. Maybe. I played a Surtur on Throne Room, and he came out as a 3/10, and I was like, why didn't this work? But it didn't work, for the record. He can't proc himself that way. I bet if there was already a Surtur on the board, it would work.
Yeah, I've done Surtur procs on Throne Room, but not with Surtur itself, or himself rather. I've played I've played things that got doubled past 10, and they count for Surtur.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like a Black Panther or a Devil Dino counts as long as it's over 10. Ree, you said you wanted to go last, so I'll say definitely got Surtur. I've played a decent amount with him. Basically exactly what I expected. Really good if you get him out on 3. It makes the Big Dumb Idiots deck so strong. It can go wide on the last turn. It can play Scar and another 10. Like, it's very good. There's a little bit of strategy there, but it's quite simple. Like, if you play a Tuma when your Surtur's at 8, then after your Surtur goes up to 11, a Tuma can't kill it.
Safe.
Cool. If you play Scar in the lane with your Typhoid Mary, it still has 10 power.
You're probably playing in Armor anyway with all those juicy, shameable cards.
So I've tried a few things.
And Cosmo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've tried a few things, and the thing I've liked best is a Sizer deck that I got from Snap Judgments. Was it Snap Take, the daily? Got that from Glazer's latest. So I'm not going to read it off. Go watch his video, or I guess we'll have it in the show notes. But Sizer put together it's a Surtur 10s list, a Surtur Scar deck. I don't know that there's a lot of interesting things going on there, but it's decent when you don't draw Surtur, and when you do, it's just a beast. I still think we're going to see, I'm holding out that we're still going to see more decks that are just doing like procking Surtur once or twice, because he's still really big if you only hit him once. But yeah, I think he's kind of expensive to get out later.
Right.
Yeah. Ree?
Okay, I wanted to go last because I have devious plans for my Surtur conversation, but I want to say I have not actually played it at all. Earlier today, I was like, for the podcast, despite Artaxing, you should Surtur. And I started to put together the Bigs and Littles deck I was talking about last week. I think I'm going to call it Surtur and the Shorties. But when I was putting it together, it's like, this is what everyone's doing. So it's not as fun. And then I started thinking about, okay, and everyone's playing it. Boo. So I was like, this is like, what I really want to do that I haven't done in a while is like Valk that shit down to 3.
Yeah, that is a thing that I've been thinking about a lot.
Giant, juicy cards and like slap down a Valk. I used to have a deck called Sexy Pile of Cards. That was more of a ladder deck because it was very much a scam deck with Legion and Valk and all this stuff. But I'm forever proud of it because it was the one time I taught Lauren my one Valk trick, which is playing Valk with She-Hulk. This is the great thing about Valk is one, you don't have to play it. Like, so many people just see her as that end cap card of like, you need a full lane and, then something to pop that lane. But you can just play her on 5 on their like Red Hulk they cheated out earlier, or whatever. You know what I mean? Or whatever you do. You know what I mean? You can treat her almost like a Shang on just a big card that's all alone, or where you have more cards than them there. So that, and if you skip turn 5 and just like soak all that energy into a sunspot, then on turn 6 you can win any lane with just Valk and She-Hulk, because that will get you one more than they have, which is all you need with Valk. So I did a lot of Valk She-Hulk scamming on ladder back in the day, and it was fun. It was so fun. And this feels like Valk season again to me is what I think about Surtur. And I started I've been doing what I've been doing a lot to make decks fun for me, which is to put werewolf in it. That's been what's fun for me lately. So I started and I'm like,
also cool Valk card.
Yep.
Yes. Right? That's what I was just learning. I was like, you don't need your little, like, because I'm always trying to see how I can avoid just, like, putting Ant-Man in decks for some reason.
Why do you...
those little pink cards. No,
Ant-Man's so
Ant-Man's
good.
great. No, it is. I just, like, it's like, I like doing Valk other ways. So it's just like, just like a little werewolf popping at the end. Glorious way to win a lane. So I started putting this, and then I was like, and Lauren's right, like, Lockdown is so good with Valk, because what if what you really had in your heart was playing, like, Valk Absorbing Man, but you knew where they were going to play their big-ass Surtur cards because you had stormed a lane previously, so you knew they were going to put stuff there, and you lost prowess and Valk, and then you knew the other lane they were going to play because, one lane was locked down, and you just abs-manned them over there. So I started putting together this deck, and then I realized there's just some card interactions I didn't know. So I wanted to ask, Lauren, who is the Valk Queen, and Ben, who also knows some of these cards better than me. My first, because I was, right, also Super Giant, right? If you have Storm, Super Giant, and Absman in a deck, doesn't that make Zabu just fit in so easily? You're just like, I would like any of those for 3, please. Yeah.
He's a shoo-in.
It's also a werewolf pinger, so even if you get a Zabu in late, where it's not going to do you as much good, you're still getting a little werewolf proc off of it. I wanted to put in Elsa, because here's my thought, and I don't know if this works the way I think it does, is that, okay, if you have Elsa out and then Valk is your last card, is she going to get +2 at the end and win you the lane?
She used to. So there was like, this is like circa December of last year to February, March, something like that, where Elsa happened at the end of the turn. They have since changed her back, so she does it like before the card even flips. So Elsa is no longer a Valk
so it
friend.
wouldn't. That's what I was wondering.
Not anymore.
Sad. See, and then I was like, we'd have a reason for Elsa and Werewolf to be together, which if you didn't know, like, kind of a thing, but they have no fucking reason. They do not belong together in this game. But no, okay, that's what I was worried about. I already took her out, and I'm like, no, I'll ask. They'll know. So anyway, I just feel like if you're not feeling Surtur, it may be open Valk season.
Yeah, that's on my to build list is some Valkyrie stuff. I've played Valkyrie in the past, but I don't know. It's been a long time. I was just like, while I was listening, I was also wondering, like, would a discard Valkyrie deck be fun? Because, like, Morbius, let's set his power to 3, because he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know, with that ongoing. Yeah, I was also thinking, like, hey, Strong Guy, there's another card with an ongoing effect that makes it bigger.
Yeah.
And, you know, also Scorn and Valkyrie on turn 6. That's a balanced breakfast, I tell you what.
That's pretty good.
I don't know. That's just like a thought that was bouncing around in my head. But I could also do something more traditional with, like, I don't know, lockdown things and Miss Marvel and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. But yeah, I'm looking
Marvel,
forward to having a Valkyrie deck
Sabu.
to tell you guys about next week. But I don't have it yet.
Okay.
I'm glad you brought up Valkyrie. I have a friend in the community named Bones who put together a really cool Patriot Valkyrie deck. It's kind of straightforward when you hear the pieces. It's like Patriot, Agent Venom, Valkyrie. You could probably build out most of it yourself. I'm going to read out his version. I changed one card, and I was having a blast with it. And the only reason I stopped playing it is I was like, oh, but I probably should have some experience with Surtur and Frigga for the podcast. But yes, Valk is doing great right now. Okay, it's called Agent Valk. It's Wasp, Hood, Bast, Squirrel Girl, Mojo, Agent Venom, Mystique, Patriot, Debris, Super Skrull, Iron Man, Valkyrie. I switched out Debris for Mysterio because I think they're very similar for the Patriot and the Valkyrie.
Look at Ben naughty. I knew Ben's into this. He hates Debris. Both of you, no respect for Debris. Okay.
Mysterio's better for the Agent Agent Venom
Debris
and the Bast.
It's offensive though. She clogs. It's Brie.
But yes, for the clog and with Mojo there, Debris has some advantages too. Bones is a clog player, so that's Debris there for a reason.
Is like a goblin. She can just fill a lane. You guys are not respecting. She's not the same as. Not saying that Mysterio isn't strong. I'm just saying Debris has her uses. So okay.
I should probably try it with Debris, but I was like, Mysterio's 12 power if I hit him with Agent Venom. That's pretty compelling.
That's a lot of power.
That's why Ben loves. Ben just wants pure power. He's like, I'm not out to ruin anyone else's day. I'm just trying to get the biggest lanes, honestly. And it's like,
it is true. I feel like part of the reason why. Well, when you asked me, like, if I was like, if I thought Arishem was OP, I'm like, I don't know. I go taller than those 7 energy jerks all the time.
But see, that's how I have fun, is when I get to feel smart, because I'm like, I knew what you were going to do. I read what was in your deck. I knew what card you had. I knew because you snapped what you had and where you were going to play it, and then I counterplayed it, and now I get to feel big brain.
No, Debris can ruin some days, but like Mysterio does put out that power. The numbers, listen to the numbers. I don't know.
All right, let's move on.
If you fill in the lane that you knew they were waiting to put their like Red Hulk in or whatever, then you've already won that
crushing.
lane. You didn't need the power. You didn't need it. You didn't need it to win. You proved your superiority. Okay, sorry.
Clog is very good. Rest in peace, White Widow. Frigga, 3/3. Ben did not like White Widow. 3/3. On reveal, add a copy of the last card you played to your hand, if able. Did either of you get her?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
How'd
you get her, Reese?
I'll start this time because I have the least. Just like that. Okay, I got her in one. One of the reasons I rolled this week was like, I do like the MCU Red Guardian. And I think it's a great card I don't have a variant for. So, but I rolled her in one, so I'll take it. I'm saving my keys. I need them for cards. But I had played her exactly once, and it was in Artaxing. But it was a perfect play because I was playing Bounce, clearly. bounce decks are so obvious right from the get-go. And I turn one master mold at them. And then I snapped because I had a Frigga to play next turn to get another master mold, and they just retreat. They just straight up left.
That's a cool use.
So that was perfect. But here's the problem. So I did put together, because like I want this to be my hammer season. I want Beta Ray Bill and Thor to be like the Hammer Bros from Mario. You know, just like throwing. That's what I want for myself this season. Is hammers. So I tried to put together. Okay, and then once again, because it's how I've been having fun, I made a werewolf hammers deck. But honestly, I don't think hammers are going to be even kind of worth it. Maybe until King its-rie comes out. Because they're still so clunky. And here's the problem. Like, because my last really good deck before the nerf of Widow was Darkhawk. Werewolf. The problem with Werewolf in Thor is that in Darkhawk, you're disrupting them as you're building power, which is like always right as we discuss the thing with Dark. And plus, in that deck too, when you were like double Black Widowing them with the Grandmaster. I'm so mad. It was so fun for me until everyone found it and it started happening to me. Now it's not fun anymore. The problem with hammers is like your only advantage, because your cards aren't always getting that big, is that you can delay the power gain on them so they can't be shanged or shadow kinged, and you can play shadow king yourself. At least this is what I'm seeing as I was trying to play this deck. Is that's the problem with hammers. It's like they're just other things that build power, just do it better and more efficiently, and their bonuses don't feel offsetting that. But maybe when King its-rie comes out, the fun will be able to be found more.
Frigga messes with that delay because you have to play the hammer first if you're going to get an extra hammer.
But if you can King its-rie it as soon as you put it in, then it's a little bit more playable.
My qualms with going hammers this season are that they made a great big sign that said play hammers this season, and they planted it in the ground right in front of me, and I just don't. No thanks. I appreciate the offer and the engraved invitation, but like, come on. No. I mean, no shade to anybody who's like, I'm excited to play hammers during the hammers season, but like, I don't know. It's a little. That is the beaten path, and I'm not impressed. I don't know.
Ben will not be railroaded.
It's a bit heavy-handed, honestly. Like, they're just, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm all for having like seasons with themes and like, you know, mechanical identities that, you know, sort of hold together. Like, I remember the Young Avengers season, and I'm like, yes, they all cared about that one thing they cared about. But I don't know if hammers is as good as doing your curve stuff. I don't know.
But is it fun though? Also, Pixie is a good friend of hammers, and I've been really wanting to play more Pixie, so I'm hoping to get in there.
Pixie's a friend of hammers? Why is that?
Because I've seen Pixie decks with her. I played one Pixie deck, I feel like, that once had hammers. You don't think so?
Well, she doesn't shuffle the hammers.
You might get along with Frigga just fine, but I don't know about hammers.
If you play her after the hammers are in, she shuffles them, right?
She only shuffles things that started in your deck.
Oh. See, this
yeah,
is why
otherwise she would
Pixie.
be
I don't even know
she
how
would
she
be
works.
nuts in Thanos if she shuffled the whole deck.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure Thanos is the reason why that exists.
I don't know what to do with Pixie, and I want to do something with her.
Make a Surtur Pixie deck. That's my arbitrary homework for you. Not really. Arbitrary homework as distinct from secret homework, branding wise. I got Frigga. I spent 3 keys. I wanted MCU Red Guardian, but missed, and it's very tempting because it's only 1 key away, but I will resist because keys be expensive, yo. I have played a bit of Frigga. She feels a lot like anti-venom to me, where it's like when it hits, it's great, but a lot of the time it doesn't hit. What I've had the best success with so far is putting her in negative, and actually not even using her on a negative card, but using her on an early sage in a game where magic was played. Like, it's awfully niche, but still, getting an extra sage that starts at 4 to 8 power is great. That's been
Cloning
good.
Sage is a recipe for success. I was wondering, did you play Anti-Venom and Frigga in the same deck? Because
I haven't
probably
yet.
That seems legit to me. Although all of this is purely speculative because Frigga is just a silhouette on my collection screen because I haven't even run into one in the wild. Nobody is playing this card.
It's true. I don't think I've seen anybody playing it either.
She's so awkward because it's like you just don't have. It's like for the 3-cost slot, you don't have so many cards that are such a good benefit. You know what I mean? That she's worth anything else. It's sad.
I did see Dexter was playing a Thor Frigga deck and having some good success with it. He said it was his best deck of yesterday of all of his Surtur and Frigga stuff that he tried.
I honestly don't think that speaks well for the card.
I think it's kind of interesting. I wanted to try it anyway. I wanted to try a Thor's Frigga deck. You can also, instead of cloning the hammer, you can clone a Thor. And as long as you get a hammer, that's the problem. If you do that, if you do Thor, Frigga, Thor, you don't get Jane. But then you only need one hammer to have 2 3/10s.
To get 2 pro. Yeah.
It's a lot of work, though. And, I mean, hey, on the last turn, you can use a Misery or an Odin, and then your one hammer's doing a lot of work. But, I don't know. It seems fun, but very, very, very combo dependent.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, oh, but surely just one more combo. King its-rie will save it. I know, it's not going to they're still going to be awkward. I just want to.
I want to like her. I really do.
Do we think that she's going to receive a prompt buff?
I don't know that hammers,
just because, the fact that I haven't even run into one makes me think that nobody got this card, which makes me think they're going to buff it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, but also maybe they'll see if we figure it out in a week. Like, there's a reason she's a 3/3. Yeah. There must be something that they thought was a problem.
Was there a reason that Emperor Hulkling was a 6/11? We can't pretend they're infallible. Like, it's
yeah, that's true.
They make
I do think she'll
big
get
mistakes.
Also, I think. Nope, sorry, I lost it.
All right, Frigga.
I agree.
Something I do love about Frigga is there is lots of room for great deck names, like friggin' hammers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is a big plus in the pro column. Okay, next week's card, Malekith, mine and Ben's number 1 of the season, at least last week. A 4/6 on reveal. Add a 1, 2, or 3 cost from your deck here. It reveals at the end of the game. I still think it's great. I'm going for it. Probably with keys, and it will be my first 2-card week because I don't have Valentina.
Also
thoughts on Malekith?
Well,
thoughts on Malekith?
What are you
doing?
Thoughts
on Malekith? I would, I will acquire this card. It looks like I will probably have enough tokens to buy it by this time next week. Or it's going to be really close. I may have to buy one of the bad Token Tuesdays. I usually only buy the good Token Tuesdays because I am a bit of a spendthrift like that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm definitely getting the card. That's for dang sure. Whether it's with keys or tokens. I don't need either of these cards, but I guess an extra variant wouldn't, hurt or anything. Not my preferred use of resources.
Sure.
I'm stoked to get Valentina. I've always loved shield cards and random gen cards, so I think she'll be fun. Every time I get her with Artaxing, I'm like, ooh. So,
Valentina's been popping off a little bit lately.
Mm-hmm. Huh?
Yeah, I see her from time to time in decks on purpose and everything. Yeah. It's a card that I've only ever played generated, but
Oh, Thena's amazing.
Thena is amazing. Yeah, if you don't have Thena, you probably want to use some keys this week because Thena, she'll be back. That's my feeling.
Yes,
It's
we
scaly.
jumped the gun a little bit, but the spotlight friends are Thena and Valentina. They're fine. Thena's
Yeah.
good. Valentina, I would have just said is like playable in some decks, but she's been her play rate's been going up a little bit lately. So I don't know. Maybe she's something to watch. Maybe something cool is going to happen with her.
She looks just fun to me. Yeah.
Maybe in all the decks that are running Luke Cage anyway, an anti-venom deck or something.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you get a 0/0 Valentina, that's not the end of the world, right?
I was just thinking the cage. The cage
will take care of it, but
free power.
Anytime we start talking about a Luke Cage deck, I start thinking about the games when Luke Cage doesn't show up, and I'm like, how bad does it really, what's the worst case scenario? You play a 0/0 Valentina, you get a 4-cost card, and it's probably got a cool effect. Maybe it's Magneto. That's what everyone said about Emperor Hulkling. Maybe we'll get lucky, and maybe he'll be Magneto, and we're all excited about 6/11 Magneto for I don't know.
Gore is coming and is a big buff for Hulkling.
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, a big buff as in one more good outcome. Yes. A big buff for Hulkling.
Huge!
Sometimes I'm just grateful to get the random gen cards, so I play other. I notice a lot. You can tell from when I get things really wrong about cards. I tend to play a lot of the same cards. I think they're just my comfort, and I know how they work, and I think about them when I'm deck building. And it's like I really need to get outside and playing decks like Artaxing and getting random gen cards, like kind of forces some cards that I never play, so that they're in my head vocabulary.
Yeah, I really think if you're still early to the game, I think cards like Agent 13, Coulson are Coulson is a Series 3 card, so it's harder to use this way. But I think they're really great to just learn new cards. I thought Agent 13 was super fun my first couple months of playing because it let me play all kinds of things.
Oh, yeah.
Now you just get mad because she keeps giving you Agathas. You're like, no, Agent 13.
We have just like a heads up because it'll happen before our next episode. There's a patch on Tuesday. And then that same week, there's an OTA on Thursday. And then that's it for November. So I'm really hoping this patch will bring the December cards. It'll be interesting if it doesn't. It means that they have a way to, OTA in the cards, maybe? I just don't think they can do that. I think they have to use a patch if they're adding assets. Anyway, that's interesting that there's a patch and an OTA in the same week and then nothing in the rest of November, presumably because of the Thanksgiving holiday. We'll see. Those are the cards. That's the patch OTA. Time for an intermission. On to our side quests. First up, secret homework. It was Ben's. So take it away, Ben.
Oh, gosh. All right. Secret homework.
Surprise!
Her name was briefly Hart, but once again it's Davis. Agatha's been told, but she cannot retain this. A garden queen, her thumb is green, she gamely gulps 2 glasses. One does short of antidote at trials, and she passes. And that's Sharon Davis.
So good.
Wow.
It's a 1-cost, 1-power card, and her text is very simple. Transforms into a random 3-cost card on turn 4. So I borrowed Westview's turn 4 trigger thing, because she got, she's a Westview resident who was cast in Wanda's sitcom as Mrs. Hart, and Agatha just cannot move past that. She refuses to learn her real name. It's very inconsiderate and not very nice of Agatha, really, to conscript this non-witch to Sharon Davis got done so dirty, Anyway, yeah, I borrowed the Westview turn 4 trigger thing to, allude to that, but it also hints at her demise in the 3rd episode of Agatha All Along and subsequent replacement in the 4th. So I'm like, I'm making it appropriate to both shows. Haha. So 2 birds with 1 stone there. It turns out it would be a bit game breaking if she transformed into the Green Witch that they bring in to replace her. So
I figure we should just say spoilers, and then people.
Yeah,
can
I'm trying to be like light on spoilers. So I mean, I'm sorry, she dies in the 3rd episode, and that's
yeah.
I've already disclosed that, but they
spoilers for Agatha All Along, and I keep the chapter times. They're in the YouTube description and in the podcast thing. So if you don't want to be spoiled on Agatha All Along, skip ahead to Snapword, our game.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, I guess I was trying to dance around it, but it would be like kind of a broken card if on turn 4 you just got death on the board. So I decided you get a random 3 cost just to keep things reasonable while still like gesturing at that particular story beat.
It's pretty cool. And if you got her like turn 5 or I guess turn 4 or later, then she just doesn't. Yeah, that's a good way to balance what kind of seems like a strong ability.
Also, I was looking at all the 3 costs, and like, as much as I love a 3/5, there aren't really that many of them. A lot of 3/3s in there. Your Friggas and such. So like, you're not really
good to get like a random Nikia.
Great deal.
Yeah.
But like, if you get an Ironheart on turn 4 randomly, or Gladiator, like there are cool things that could happen, but you're not guaranteed anything spectacular. So yeah, that was my witch.
Very fun.
I mean, a witchy enough person in the words of the show, I think.
She's in the Coven.
Yeah, within any 3 mile or whatever the radius is, there'll be enough witchy enough people to form a coven.
Okay. I am not going to sing, but here is my verse, because I too did the extra credit. Sister Fire of our coven, protect us with thy love. Your family cursed of fire, winged demon looms above. With song as shield, the curse revealed, then it can be killed. When dangers rise, with sacrifice, thy selfless blood will spill. Ooh. I did Alice Woo Gulliver. In the comics... So cool. Actually, I guess it's Gulliver Woo, isn't it? I don't know. It's Woo Gulliver. In the comics, she goes by The Woo, which I thought was kind of fun. Yeah, she's kind of cool. She's a detective there, and she imbues her weapons with magic in kind of a secret, invisible way. Yeah,
she's magic weapons. Okay, so
yeah,
I'm look into this.
Yeah. So anyway, I have 2 versions of her that are very similar. One of them feels too strong, but also like more appropriate. So anyway, here's the first one. The Woo. 3/4. When a card would be destroyed here, move it to another location instead. That's probably the one I'm going with, and I think it's cool because you can. It's not just defensive, like, ooh, my Hulk dodged your Shang, because everybody's playing Hulk these days. But also like, what if at the end of the game you Venom your lane and send the entire lane somewhere else? It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, say it one more time.
Okay. When a card... I pulled up the wrong one. When a card would be destroyed here, move it to another location instead.
Okay. Yeah, I want to make her have to sacrifice herself for that, and you only get it once.
I really thought of making her a sacrifice, kind of like an angel, but where she takes the hit instead. I thought that was very appropriate for a protection witch, but
it would be.
I decided instead she should protect the whole lane.
Alright.
No,
you're right. Like, it's kind of a cool
I like it. I think you made the right call.
The alt version is when a card at another location would be destroyed, move it here instead. But it seems strong. I liked it, though, because it kind of ties into the Mother's verse about, like, if I can't reach you, let my song teach you. Like, if I can't reach you, at another location, I can't reach you. But anyway.
I feel
I like her.
first. Sorry, no, go ahead.
I should have touched another. So one of the main things she does with her magic is imbue her guns with magic, but she also has like an enchanted blade that can rip portals to another dimension. She sounds really badass. Anyway, so that was the thought with the movement, right? Like she's protecting people by getting them the F out of there.
And she's got a subtle knife. Okay.
Like mechanically, I like the You're right. She at first I thought it seemed OP that she would protect the whole lane, but they might kind of achieve their aim anyway if they're getting a big power out of that lane into maybe a different lane. So you kind of have that angle to it.
Yeah.
You could
Armor protects the whole lane.
What titles is the Woo in? Where would I find the Woo if I went to my local library and wanted to acquaint myself with this character who has magic guns and a portal sword?
I think she's at Strange Academy.
She needs to be a Vampire Survivors character.
Yeah, this does honestly sound like the start of a pretty sick Vampire Survivors build. Just get some Santa water up in there.
Yeah. What's your favorite Vampire Survivors weapon? Sorry, while Lauren's looking it up.
I haven't played in like at least a year, but I was a big fan of the King Bible, the garlic. I like
AoEs right around you that protect you, and you just
I like those too.
Around like a yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, and just making it as big and strong as you can. It's very fun. I really wish I had a better answer. This website is tough to use sometimes.
That's okay.
3 appearances of
it was
Alice
not
Cole.
A fair question. That was not part of the assignment. You're not supposed to like give me a reading list.
She hasn't been in Scarlet Witch lately.
Here we go.
No,
Scarlet Witch Volume 3, 9. Doctor Strange Last Days of Magic Volume 1, and Scarlet Witch Volume 2, 7. And those are the only 3 things that are listed. Pretty niche character they pulled out.
But I like that. That's comics. They're full of all these little tiny characters, and like some kid, like it just captures their imagination just seeing them once, and when they grow up and write comics, they bring that character back and make them into a whole thing. It's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
She had something I liked that I learned from the wiki is her mom had like bright pink hair and she had black hair, but then when her mom died, she woke up and had bright pink hair, and I think that's also when she inherited the magic, like passed on.
And her hair changes colors. She's what? Bring her back.
It's pretty cool.
Hopefully they will. Maybe they will now.
That she got done so dirty. I mean, they all got done so dirty. Yeah.
It's not really a happy ending. Yeah.
I mean, things worked out okay for Jen, but dang.
They're witches, though. They can come back. Do you know how many times Scarlet Witch has died? She just died recently. She just came back. I was just reading that.
Well, I mean, like, she's definitely coming back in the MCU because the word they were told to use was gone, I guess, when they were making this show. So,
yeah, I think it was heavily implied. Yeah, I think it was heavily implied she's coming back.
I just want her base variant to like be with like her hand out, so when they like try and do it in the animation is like they're shooting something, she just pings it off her hand. The car goes to pushes them or something. I don't know. All right,
It'd be very
I'm
cool.
into it. I want to see what the animation is.
Let's hear about your witch.
Oh, okay. I had Lilia Calderu, who I did look up because she's one of those that it's like I could have seen in a bit part somewhere. I don't remember all the minor characters that come through Scarlet Witch and whatever. But she's also kind of only been in a handful of things. She's like a witch queen of the gypsies is like her deal, her title in the comics. But I was thinking for her, a 1/1 with the ability Activate. Destroy this card to see cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of remaining turns.
That's really cool. I'm surprised you picked an Activate.
I'm also.
Well, I didn't want you to play her on 1. And activate was a way to do that. And it was also the other thing with cards like her. I like some way for them to be useful at the end of the game. So she would stick around. You don't have to blow her up if you want to Marvel Boy her at the end because you just drew her late or whatever. So that's kind of was my thinking with the activate. It nerfs it just slightly. And
so she's sort of a super Howard?
Huh? Yeah, you can.
But a shuffle could ruin everything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
And also she has one less power.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's very.
Also,
yeah,
I considered I didn't
juicy.
specify how it works, and I wasn't quite sure. I left it with the thought that it would be in order, but it also could be a randomized version, so you would know all the cards you were drawing, but not what order.
That would be a way to balance
I didn't make that clear behind the attack.
That would be very flavorful and very hard to make good.
Maybe then I would take away the activate for a non-reveal. You know, like we could beef her up.
There's still decks that would like to know whether or not they're going to draw their key piece.
Yeah. I suppose.
Did you do extra credit? It's okay if you didn't.
It is okay if you didn't.
I did do extra credit. I did the whole thing today, kind of last minute. Kind of a week. But when I was thinking about Lilia and I was thinking about what I wanted the card to be, right? When you're thinking about Lilia, think about how she sacrificed herself at the end. And it's such a powerful moment because you're coming to this moment from not that long ago when the witches are shrugging off Alice's death, right? And they're just kind of like, yeah, we're all just out for ourselves, right? And then you see the two of them kind of stuck in this like underground area, the potions witch, whose name I've forgotten yet again.
Jen.
And Lilia, and they're talking, and I don't know, they eventually bond to the point where like Lilia sacrifices herself for the teen, and you know, Potions Lady's huge regret was that she wasn't able to help her and save him. They kind of realized, like, they thought they were all for power, you know, for themselves, but at the end, I don't know, like, the power, like, finding their friends in the darkness was kind of the lesson of Lilia, right? So my verse was, some seek the road to all that's foul, confusing what is fair. In our darkest hour, bereft of power, where can we go from there? We can still be bound to our friends. We're not alone in the nightmare. We may have to go to ground, but we can still plant seedlings there. And that was my verse. That's where I was at earlier.
Oh, it's all
really
helpful
like
and
it.
Stuff.
Yeah.
I like something positive every so often.
Yeah. So that's our ending thought for. I loved the show. I thought it was fun.
Oh yeah,
so good,
great fun, really really fun.
And the Lilia story is the exact kind of like mechanics I like in a show where they kind of like do a little bit of a puzzle throughout that gets explained all in one episode.
Yeah, that was cool.
So
like super cut.
Okay. Yeah, and I am assigning our new homework. And since I know we are all guesting next week on Joe's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So on Snap Decisions. So we kind of already have like a heavier week. So I wanted to keep it on the lighter and the easier side. And so our homework this week is just to come up. So you know the Marvel What If series? They made the show out of it. It's based on a series of comics that are just like, here's a random premise. Like the last What If comic I think I picked off the shelf was like, what if Daredevil was in feudal Japan as a setting? I'm like, yes, please. I will look at all that art. So come up with your own what if premise, you know, that you think would be fun to see.
With an associated card or just...
No, just in general for a character you like. Okay.
Just a cool concept.
A character that is in Marvel Snap.
Oh, okay. All right.
To make it fair, but center around that. But your own, like, you know, what if? And it can be as easy as, yes, like set in this time, you know, this kind of genre or whatever.
Give us a cool variant.
Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll have an easier.
Yeah,
one.
I like this assignment. This is a good assignment.
Yeah. We'll
Okay.
have the patch and the OTA, so we'll just have a light secret home.
Yeah, I'll do light spoilers. This is our third card design week in a row, and we got a really good assignment from a listener, but it's also card design. So I was like, let's we'll wait for another week for that. Maybe next week. Okay. That's the secret homework. It's time to play a game. I'm calling this game Snapword. It's password because we played Zaboo, and I learned that Ree and Ben had never played Password, and Password is one of my favorite word games. Taboo's up there too. The trick of Password is instead of kind of saying like everything except for these 5 words, it's you only get to say one word. You are picking one word, and your teammate has to guess what you're talking about using only one word. And I think that the thinking behind it, like strategically, why did I pick that word instead of a different word? I think it's really fun. Now, as I was alluding to earlier, it works a lot better with 4-player. Like I was really struggling to find out a way to make it work 3-player where the optimal strategy isn't to throw bad guesses sometimes to hurt whoever's leading. And so what we're going to do is I think we're going to do co-op-y, which feels right on a light week.
I'm very fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling very competitive today.
Very much like Zaboo.
I don't have the eye of the tiger.
Good. So we'll try to perform the best we can.
Okay.
And then you just have fun playing it. So I have sent out the website for the Marvel Snap Draftinator. We're just going to pick random Marvel Snap cards. This contains, as far as I can tell, everything up to the Symbiote season, but does not include Frigga and Surtur. At least I never generated them in like 100 generations. So there's a couple ways we could play, but the way that I would like to play is we take turns being the clue giver, and the other 2 collaborate to give a single shared answer. So you can discuss, which also seemed better for a podcast format. Get a little bit of discussion in there. I'll go first as a demonstration. I am going to randomize, pull up a card. Okay. All right. And I'm going to give a single word and try to have you 2 guess the card I'm talking about. This one might be too easy. Beetle. Now you 2 can discuss and come up with your one shared answer for which card I'm talking about.
Sounds like Meek to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Final answer?
Or someday, well, I just want to point out that yes, there is in fact a supervillain called the Beetle, and I'm sure there will be a Marvel Snap card at some point. But are we going Meek? Is that the consensus, Ree?
Yes. It's got to be, right? I can't think of anyone else that would fit.
Yes, it was Meek. You're right. So you did that in only a single guess. Now, this is an element that we'll pull out when we get to play 4-player sometime, but when there are 2 guessers and you have 2 teams, there's an element of you decide if you're going first or second on the word, and I think that's incredibly fun. Like, can I get Meek in 1? Yes, I can. But if it was a harder word, it's like, do I want to try to get it in 1 or in 2? And I'll pass it. Anyway, talking about the future.
I see it.
It won't be relevant right now. Yeah, we'll go to, we'll just follow a week in Snap order. So, Ben, if you want to pull something up in the Draftinator and give Rhea and I a single word clue and try to get it in as few single word clues as possible.
Regeneration.
I like APOC or Scorin.
Yeah.
Do you have any others? I mean, it could be Hella, but
maybe?
I think you would say
you are.
We're off. Why are we not?
You think we're going the wrong way? Regeneration.
Guesses.
And then Wolverine or X-23 also regenerate.
Venom? Who
In fact, some of these cards might even use the word in their text boxes.
Hey, you only get one word clue.
Maybe it's Wolverine or X-23, actually.
Yeah, I like those two. Yep. Pick one, Ray. Which of those two?
X-23.
I don't know how you knew, but that was indeed the one.
Woo! Another single rounder.
I
you
gave
said it was
some
in the
prodding.
text box.
I did
like,
some
I'm
nudging.
Sure it's
I'm a big old cheater pants.
I said Wolverine and X-23 before you said that. It's fine.
Yeah, Wolverine, I think, was the first card to have regenerate there as a word in the text box, which is,
Does APOC
it's a flavorful word, like when Baron Zemo recruits and stuff. But yeah, X-23 also regenerates, but a more recent card. Well, you got it, even though I did cheat. So
you didn't cheat enough. It's fine. Okay, read.
Mine? Okay, I had pulled it up. I guess I should have done it now, because I had extra time to think. But my one word is bridge.
Heimdall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that makes it like collaborate. So good at one word.
Obviously, it's Heimdall. Okay. Coven.
Agatha.
Yeah.
Dang.
Where are any of these going to take
is
two?
It already my turn? Or
maybe cards are too easy. It's your turn.
Let's get a new one. Immovable.
Colossus.
That would be my guess. It could also be Blob.
Couldn't be Blob anymore.
No, but it's not Blob anymore. They took it away. Oh man, but now where it's like, now we look usually we look stupid in games. Usually I'm like,
and now we're crushing it.
Boom, look at us. All right, mine is minutes.
As in minutes? As in
I think we're talking Ravonna Renslayer,
only allowed to say one word.
Yeah. Ravonna.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe this is too easy. Okay. My turn. All
right, make it a funny word then.
Funny word. Here we go.
Put a joke in it.
Put a joke in a single word. Okay, fine. I'll make a. All right, I'll make a joke. I
made it too hard now.
Hazy.
Shade of Winter by Simon and Garfunkel.
I feel like Annihilus's pictures are all like, woo, like green.
Hazy. Mysterio?
Oh, Mysterio, you're right. That dude is smoking in all of his variants. Okay. Yeah, let's go with that.
Mysterio.
It is not. Okay, my second word. Vanilla.
I want ice cream so bad right now. Okay. Vanilla and hazy. I don't get it.
But none of them seem particularly hazy to me. I'm like running up the list. I mean, we got Wasp, we got Colleen, we got Shocker.
Oh wait, vanilla might mean that it's one of the vanilla cards, like Wasp or Shocker. Or does any of those also fit hazy?
No, that's what I was just running through. I'm like,
you
Wasp, Colleen, Shocker,
I was also trying
Cyclops,
to think.
Thing, Abomination, Hulk. None of these feel very hazy to me.
Oh, I just thought you
meant
that makes me say.
You're right.
Who did you say besides Wasp and Shocker at the beginning?
Colleen, right?
Colleen
Misty
Wing, the discard card?
Instead of hazy, Misty. It's Misty Night.
Oh shoot! I'm so sorry. What am I? I don't know why. I'm like these people have first and last names, and like I guess if you just have a name, you're all the same woman. I don't know. Get a code name if you want to be memorable.
That's the moral of the story.
Oh, Misty Knight is so cool.
You know who I can remember? I can remember the Woo.
Heck yeah. Very memorable.
Really cool. It's like Silver Sable. Like, it just stands out to me. I'm like, I need to read.
Man, I'm sorry. My brain is farting hard today. I stayed up for the bad news.
Yeah, I am also very sleep deprived.
That probably makes the game better.
Does it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
On to
feel
Ben.
like an idiot. Okay.
We got it in 2.
Word up. Service a word. Word salad. Okay. I'm like, eventually I'll hit on a good joke.
Oh, this word. Well, can I be boring?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's okay.
Just don't use a word that's like in the card's name. Maybe we make it harder by saying don't use one in the.
I can't tell if it's in the. It's definitely in the character's name. I don't think it appears on the card, but that would be cheating.
You can't can't say something that's in the character's name. Like, don't say iron.
Unstoppable.
Oh, the Juggernaut.
Juggernaut.
See, I knew that was going to be the first guess, but it's not the Juggernaut.
Okay, all right. So we get a second word.
Do I need another word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move.
I mean, just makes me want to say Colossus again, but... Okay, a move card that's unstoppable? I don't
even have a guess.
You'll feel very silly. Think about those 2 clues a little harder. You'll feel silly.
Okay, all right.
I promise. Arrows, you know this card.
The Unstoppable Stegron.
And it's a move card?
Is it a card that says, like, I am unstoppable?
Nope.
Thanos says that.
The text box... the word stop is in the text box.
Cannot be stopped.
You are going to feel very silly.
Cannonball. If you can't stop the move, then he does the destroy. Wait.
Stop? I'm gonna feel so dumb.
Unstoppable. Cannot be stopped. Uniquely so. This is the only card that is unstoppable.
It's Jeff.
Yes. And you were going to feel silly if I had to tell you guys it was Jeff.
Remember before we found Kate when we only had Jeff? I still love Jeff. I was thinking about that sadly. I just don't put him in as many decks. Okay.
No.
He's still precious. All right.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
We got it. All right. You guys are going to get this one. My one word is Loki.
Thor?
I'm being too clever with it. No, I'm being meta.
Arishem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arisham's good. Okay, we missed on our first guess. What's our second word?
Oh, no, you got it now. It's Arishem.
Oh, okay. We just kept throwing guesses at it.
Sorry. I thought it was clear that...
Well, yeah,
counting that as
Loki
two.
Is an Arishem card now. And when you said you were getting
meta
about it, I figured that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Like, Loki is now just the sidekick.
Okay.
Oh, does this make it Lauren's turn or my turn?
It's my turn. Yeah. Should we do like what, 1 or 2 more rounds?
I could keep going. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like
I've been doing this. I have another set of 3 up.
Okay, it's proven very easy. Oh, yeah, we could just do all 3 that are up right now. Okay. Fairy.
Pixie?
Yeah.
So you guys are cutting out for me a little bit.
Yeah, yes, it was Pixie.
Okay. So we're finishing our slate of 3 cards. If we had done the one on the left, or how many more are we doing?
3 more cards.
3 more cards. All right, I'm gonna hit refresh. Get 3 fresh cards.
Yeah.
You can always hit don't have card if it's a duplicate of what somebody already did.
Yeah.
Okay. Discounts.
Sarah?
Sarah or Mobius?
Which one of those would you like to choose?
I
Sarah?
want to discuss this with Ree. I feel like discounts plural might make it Mobius. But Sarah does also give a lot of discounts.
No, I see your reasoning. And I
Okay.
agree with it. I'm fine with Mobius.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
Mobius.
correct. That's why I picked discounts. Just to,
Well done.
Yep.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
Gosh, so in tune. Okay, it's me. I'm gonna go with Bear.
Did you say bear?
Air?
Yeah. Like BEAR. Sorry,
Bear.
I think I'm cutting
Okay.
a little bit.
Snow guard.
Maybe me. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I like snow.
I was like, oh, my 2 words are easy. I was wondering if I could get away with hawk bear. It's like, no, for real, they exist in imaginary things. But like, no. I was like, we'll just go one at a time. Okay, good job though.
Scream.
But
The
it's
card
not
Scream? I know, but it's like, who's screaming in a card?
Stegron?
Stegron doesn't scream though. Maybe it's
Well, I was thinking like these must be like Scream buddies.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I see. Who's the number 1 Scream buddy though?
That's a question I don't know.
That's a good question for you, Ben. I don't even have Scream.
Well, I only play weird Scream decks. I don't know what the cool kids are playing in their Scream decks.
But Lauren also knows us and wouldn't have picked a thing she didn't think we would know. But also, I don't
know. My best guess was Stegron. Was
Kingpin.
that? That's a good guess.
I need a consensus.
Great. We're Stingrin. Okay, let's go with Stegron because that was their first guess.
No.
Okay.
Second word. Inhuman.
Oh, an Inhuman. So the Inhumans are like Crystal is an Inhuman, Medusa.
Yep, Black Bolt,
is an Inhuman.
Medusa.
Oh, and Black Bolt is
Marvel.
screaming. It's got to be Black Bolt. Like, silently screaming
Oh,
or whatever.
Scream like
Doing his
that
weird
kind.
Black
Like,
Bolt
oh,
stuff.
he's not allowed to talk because he's so loud.
Yeah, it's got to be Black Bolt, right?
I think so, right? Yeah, let's pull the trigger.
Let's
Black
guess
Bolt.
it.
It's Black Bolt. Maybe Shout or something like that would have been better, but I liked that Scream
Did you know
said,
that he once leveled a city with a mere whisper? I don't know. I feel like every time I read about Black Bolt or hear about Black Bolt or like run into Black Bolt anywhere, they have to like fold that little trivia nug in there. They're like, no, he could take out a whole city with a whisper. He nuked the world when he said no one time.
gosh,
I don't know. I'm
to have that much
like,
power.
really annoying anyone who actually cares about the character of Black Bolt, but
But they don't, though. People just want the
these are
accent,
just the
to be
things
honest.
I hear about Black
Just-
Bolt around. I'm just repeating what I've been told and probably messing up the deets. I'm sorry. I apologize. I know it's not fun to hear people be
Okay.
Apologize
Okay,
to
whose
all
turn
the
it
Black
was?
Bolt stands in our
They're
audience.
out there. People
Oh, Black
love
Bolt. Okay,
these
yeah, it was
characters.
Okay,
People
Ben.
like the Inhumans. Oh gosh, it falls to me.
No, okay, sorry, no, I'm not going to tangent into
And it's got to be a word. It couldn't be like a name.
Not only
I feel-
one
I
word.
feel like
It's not
if-
about this. You
if
can
I
say
said the-
Idris, but not Idris Elba.
Yes.
Ready?
Was that ready?
Eddie.
Yeah, but it was
Eddie.
with the man.
It's Venom. It's got to be right.
Wow.
Eddie Brock for Venom. Good.
Okay, well done. Okay, mine will be. I hope this isn't too abstract. I'm gonna go with punk.
Punk.
Punk. Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys
like
are
Spider Punk, who's not in the game yet. Punk.
Well, who's punk rock?
Nico's pretty punk.
Nico's punk rock. That was the first that came to mind for me as well. But there are others. Surely. Negasonic is very punk rock.
I like Negasonic better than Nico, actually.
Yeah. You know who else is kind of punk rock? Legion's kind of punk rock.
Yeah. But Ree's favorite avatar...
Yeah, let's go Negasonic.
Blowing bubblegum. Negasonic.
Yeah, he's very
punk rock.
punk
It's Negasonic. Yes. She's the most punk card in the game, for sure. Her name is like a punk band, you know? Like...
Yes, it is.
It is. Yes, it's a great name. Okay. Just thinking of a clue for this. I've had it in front of me for the last 3 rounds. I should have been ready, but I'm just not.
I'm so proud of myself. Usually I do a very poor showing in games, so I'm like, yes, it's Ree's
that's not
time.
True. You've trounced me at multiple games, I think.
Okay. Immaterial?
Oh.
Shadowcat?
Okay, that's a good one. Also Inviswoman. Maybe. But I guess Invisible is an immaterial, you're right. Who else can phase besides... I mean, the
Vision can phase.
Nightcrawler kind of poofs.
But he alters his density to achieve that. His thing is not strictly immaterial.
I think Kitty was a good thought, if you want to go with Kitty.
Yeah, Kitty Pryde. I've
it was
got Kitty Pryde and Nightcrawler,
yeah,
too.
well done.
Okay. Two more, Ben.
Diner.
Oh, Deadpool.
Deadpool, but it could also be Cassandra Nova.
Oh, yeah.
Did you already say yes?
That's a good point, but it was Deadpool.
It's fine. We're tired. It's the end of the game. Ree?
Okay. Not the movie. Okay, 7.
7.
And it can't be RSM again.
You get it. That's not that hard.
RSM is very good.
But we already had
I wouldn't
RSM,
repeat.
so it can't be RSM. 7.
Is there something about Seven Samurai? And it's Silver
easy.
Samurai?
You know, there is a film, but 7.
Okay, maybe I made it too hard.
7 cards in hand. Let's just guess Arsham again. Get a second word.
I do feel like I need another clue because I'm like, that's a number right there.
Portals.
7 portals.
I don't know.
Oh, Blink does have, but Magic also has portals.
A lot of people have, also turn 7. Yep, I think we got Magic on our hands. That's what I think we got. That's what I think we got.
Magic?
Yeah, you guys are right. I thought you would get it. I was like, and then you start, you're like 7 cards, and I'm like, they're there. They're gonna say 7 turns.
Okay.
No.
I wrote 7 as the score. It was
quick.
2. I don't think we ever went to 3. We had 3, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6. We had 6 twos, and the rest of them were 1s. We did great.
Lauren, were you attempting to keep score?
It's golf score. It was cooperative. It's fine.
We're under par for this game. That's what you want to be, right?
That's right. Yeah, it's golf scoring in this game. We were going for as low as possible. I hope someday to play that with you, 4-player, because it's really fun when there's a more competitive element to it. But maybe the cards are too easy, so we'll have to think about that. Okay, if you like what you heard today, follow us on Twitter, all the places. These things are in the show notes and in the YouTube description. We are in podcast places and on YouTube. You can send us questions, suggestions, secret homework ideas at SnapOnThisPod at gmail.com. We are part of the Snap Judgments Network, where you can listen to other great shows like Snap Decisions with Joe, the Snap DJ. We will all be guesting sometime next week. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It will be the time for Zabu Round 2. So if you liked that game or want to check it out, that's a good reason to go there. But also, we're just going to have a good time. Other shows on the network include How Can She Snap and Snap Judgments. Anyway, I'm not prepared to close this thing out. Maybe I'll just use the same one as last time. If you want to hear us talk about the new patch next week, which you should, because that's usually a great discussion, here's hoping there are data mines. Tune in next week. Same Snap time, same Snap channel.
Yeah, we did it.
Sorry. I want to hear the guitars.
Yeah, he's been a little bit of a pill.
We did it.
Goodness.
Yeah.
That felt
Sorry,
like a
didn't
bit of
play
a
either of the
slog
new
for me personally. I'm sorry, I did not feel very smart today. Not that I'm usually that smart, but I felt extra stoops today.
We gave so much warning that it was going to be low energy, and if I was a listener, I'd rather have an episode than not an episode. So there's that.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right, now I have a whole week to try to make Frigga work.
That's how I feel every episode, though. So I don't.
you have no like basis of measurement. Oh, I think I'm having ice cream tonight.